All rise. Judge Vanderbeek Court now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1003, Carrera versus Carrera.
Thank you. You all may be seated. Okay, Mr. Carrera?
Yes.
You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Yes. So I brought this case before you because I'm currently paying for extracurricular activities for our daughter.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more money than I thought it was going to be, so I would like my wife, Sheila, to reimburse me for it.
Okay. So you guys are separated?
Yes.
Okay. What type of extracurricular activities is the child involved?
So our daughter is very big into sports.
Okay.
So she plays soccer, and it's just like the cost of cleats, the cost of like gloves, because she plays goalie. It's just a lot of upkeep for me, and she makes more money than I do, so I kind of want help with it.
All right, folks. Today's case takes us straight to the heart of shared parenting and financial fairness. Mr. Carrillo takes the stand, calmly laying out his situation. He's been covering the full cost of his daughter's extracurriculars, from soccer cleats to goalie gloves, and everything in between. Now he's asking for his ex-wife, Sheila, to contribute. Especially since she brings in a higher income, the judge wastes no time and dives into the details, asking about their separation and their daughter's involvement in sports. Mr. Carrillo explains that the expenses have piled up faster than he anticipated, and handling it all solo just isn't sustainable at its core. This case is about more than soccer gear. It's about balance, fairness, and what it really means to co-parent. The tension is rising, and the courtroom is watching closely. Will Sheila step up, or will the burden continue to fall on one parent alone? Let's find out.
I see here, ma'am, from the tax returns that you make about $100,000 a year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Child support was not previously ordered.
Yes.
Okay. So are you guys in agreement to do that? Or you don't want to pay child support? What's going on?
I don't think it's necessary. We split her 50-50. She's at my house just as much. She's with me just as much, if not more.
Your Honor, I would say that's probably an argument for her to pay me. If we're splitting 50-50, I shouldn't have to pay all of it.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. So you kind of like told on yourself. So you ready to move forward with the numbers?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get ready with the numbers. So it looks like you make, like I said, $100,000 a year. Do you work overtime, or is that regularly what you make?
No, I work overtime. But
Okay. And does that include overtime?
yes, ma'am. It's a salaried position, so it's just straight out.
Okay.
Mr. Carrillo doesn't hold back. He paints a clear picture of rising costs tied to his daughter's deep involvement in sports. Between cleats, gloves, and other gear, the bills keep coming, and he argues it's only fair his ex-wife helps out, especially considering she pulls in a $100,000 salary. The judge leans in, asking for specifics about their custody agreement. Mr. Carrillo explains they share custody equally minus 50/50ths. Ironically, that detail strengthens his case. Equal time should mean equal responsibility. And he points out that Sheila's higher income puts her in a better position to contribute financially with the facts laid out and the courtroom on edge. The judge gets ready to crunch the numbers. It's time to turn emotion into math and see what fairness really looks like on paper.
Got it. All right. So at $100,000 a year, I have your gross at $10,000 a month. Before I continue, who pays health insurance?
We both do.
We both.
Okay, how much do you pay?
$348 or $386.
$386.
Yeah, $386.
Okay.
And I
how
pay
much?
$200.
Okay, and you both plan on maintaining those health insurance policies?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. That way, nobody has to reimburse anybody for health insurance, but because you do carry health insurance and you're going to be ordered to pay child support, I can give you credit for the $386.
Okay.
So that brings your net down to $6,988.19. Which, how many children? Just one?
Just
one.
Okay, so 20% of that brings your child support obligation to $1,391.64. That should cover any expenses and anything like that because the child is heavily involved. Sounds like in extracurricular activities, excuse me. Are there any other questions?
Nope.
You don't look happy about this. What's going on?
I just think that it's a bit of an exorbitant amount, but we discussed it in the beginning when the split happened. He agreed, and
Agreed to what amount?
none.
Oh, you're saying child support, but you do understand that as the child gets older and heavily involved in
Yes.
different activities. I wasn't done.
Oh, sorry.
Involved heavily in different activities, you understand that expenses increase.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the amount of child support is based on how much money you make. Child support is based on a simple calculation. So you make $100,000 a year, that's what your child support is. I mean, if you want it to be lower, you chose the profession.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
The judge gets straight to business. She tallies Mr. Carrillo's annual income, including his overtime, at $100,000. After deducting health insurance costs, his monthly net income comes out to $6,988. With one child to support, the court calculates his child support obligation at $1,391.64 per month. She explains that this amount isn't just for basic needs. It's also meant to help cover the growing costs of the child's active lifestyle and extracurriculars. And while Mr. Carrillo shares 50-50 custody, the judge reminds everyone, shared time does not cancel out financial responsibility. Mr. Carrillo doesn't take the news well. He pushes back, calling the payment exorbitant. But the judge doesn't flinch. She lays it out clearly. Child support isn't about feelings. It's a numbers game based on income, not personal opinion. She also points out that while Mr. Carrillo once agreed to cover everything himself, that agreement doesn't override the law, especially when circumstances shift as the case wraps up. The judge takes a moment to explain the legal backdrop. In Texas, child support orders can be modified when there's a material and substantial change in circumstances, like a spike in extracurricular costs or shifting income levels. This case drives home a simple but vital truth. When one parent earns more, they may be expected to contribute more. Custody schedules don't erase the need for support. They simply reflect how time is shared, not money. The episode ends with a clear call to action. If you know someone in a similar situation, speak up. Share their story. Because here in child support court, it's not just about money. It's about protecting the future of every child who depends on it.
I just want to go over what you all witnessed in the case of Carrera versus Carrera. So they had an existing order where no child support was ordered. Well, under Texas law, when there's been a material and substantial change in circumstance, the court can go in and review the order to determine whether or not child support should be paid. Well, you heard that dad was covering all the expenses for the child to participate in all these different activities. So it warranted mom to be able to help finance those activities for the child. So that's the reason why mom was ordered to pay child support.
Let's break down what we just witnessed in the case of Carrera versus Carrera. Originally, there was a standing court order that required no child support from either parent. But under Texas law, when there's been a material and substantial change in circumstances, the court has the power to revisit that order. And that's exactly what happened here, as we heard in testimony. Dad had been covering all of the costs related to the child's extracurricular activities, sports, gear, and more. Those expenses added up, and the court determined it was only fair for mom to contribute financially. That's why the judge ruled in favor of a child support order. It wasn't about punishing anyone. It was about recognizing the increased costs and ensuring both parents share the responsibility of supporting their child's evolving needs.